Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Market Trailblazers. And like I promised today, I have someone awesome, an awesome marketing professional on social media, and she has quite a reputation. And it's just that I've been myself a follower of my guest today. So let me introduce Shay Rowbottom to you. She is the COO of Margle Communications, Margle Media Communications, and uh, there are some very interesting things that I plan to discuss with Shay today. So welcome, Shay. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Syed, so much. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. And I know you are a very busy person, and this interview is not going to make you famous. You are famous already. So basically, the objective
It'll
was
move
to
the
get.
it'll move the needle a little bit, right?
Basically, the intention was to get your thoughts on certain things that could be helpful to us, my group members and myself. See, basically, there are a lot of entrepreneurs on my group, almost 2,000 of them as group members. There are a lot of lady entrepreneurs here, women entrepreneurs, and people who are just newly starting off. And I see everyone seem to have this one common situation. How is what is that that is to be done to make you heard or seen on social media, and everybody's trying to work on that. So that's a serious problem too, because you see there's a lot of exchange of content happening. People are putting in effort and actually doing anything and everything possible. Then after a certain point in time, I see a lot of people also losing interest, losing traction, and them for some reason a lot of people have disappeared from social media. They're no longer there. Probably
Yeah.
they are trying to do something else now. They think that this doesn't work, and so probably they are trying to concentrate their energies on something in a different direction. Well, there are so many things that are happening here, so I thought it would be a fantastic idea to bring you in for a few minutes and have you speak on certain things here. So here we go. First question for you. So, well, before I start, one thing is, Shay, would you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and Margot Media, and then about your experiences, I mean, how you began, your successes, your frustrations, and what made you what you are today.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. So, I am the ex-COO of Margle Media, a social media marketing company that I co-founded
Hmm.
when I was about 23. So how did I get into that? I kind of have an unorthodox background. I was actually a local musician when I stumbled across video and got an opportunity to learn how to edit video for large blogs on Facebook.
Okay.
So I put the music down for a little bit to learn editing because I knew
Uh-huh.
that there was money in social media and money in content creation. Yeah. So I became really well educated on how to edit video content to
Uh-huh.
get more views on social media. And
Uh-huh.
that's what led to my career with Marvel Media. I realized there was a market. So many people had blogs and pages, but they didn't necessarily know how to do video. So
Hmm.
that's where I came in. That's the skill that I've mastered over the past 3 years, is understanding how to edit video content for social media platforms and also understanding what content would perform well
Hmm.
on different pages, whether you're a brand or a personal page.
I see.
That's what I do. Yeah. So, and I'm
Wonderful.
excited to be here. So,
Wonderful, wonderful.
thank
Actually,
you.
it would help if you would be part of my group, because there are a lot of interested people who would like to know this technique.
I would love to join. Yes, please get
Sure.
me in. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I'm in now. This is
Yes, you
my,
are. Yes, you
yeah. So,
are. Uh,
yes. Okay. So,
Not just a guest. I would also love to have you as a member of the group. I think you are already a member. If I haven't sent you an invite, I will send you
okay.
soon.
Send me another one. I will get in for sure.
Sure, sure, sure. And see, we've been reading a lot about this. There's been a lot of discussion happening on social media. Uh, I have also done some commenting and answered a few questions here. 2019 seems to be a year of the video. Do you agree?
Yes. Mhm. Do you want
Okay.
me to elaborate?
The reason why I asked you is, now see, one side you have textual content, a lot of textual content floating around, and then some time back we still had this. I still see that this infographic So infographic versus textual versus video, what percentage do you see will finally emerge? I mean, what do you think will might be the proportion in 2019?
Yeah, great question for 2019. I definitely believe video is becoming a must. The
Uh-huh.
algorithm favors video on almost every single platform now. If you are really well versed in creating consistent content for your brand and posting on your page, but you've not done video, you're just well versed in, creating articles, creating text posts for your brand, that sort of thing, and you're feeling overwhelmed with like, well, how do I get into video?
Uh-huh.
Um, the first step I would recommend is actually to go back and visit your past, couple months of content. What text posts or what articles performed well, and
Hmm.
kind of curate a list of your own content that's higher performing or above average performance,
Right.
and figure out a way to turn that text post into a video. Because look, you've already done the work of creating the content, or at least the concept.
Yep.
You already know that it performs above average because it's an
Yep.
interesting topic.
Yep.
Now all you have to do is figure out a way creatively to get that in the video format and repost it for your followers. So that would be step number one. If you're, used to doing every other medium but video, that's a great place to get started.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, see, what would a starter have to do? Someone who is actually getting in there on video for the first time. I mean, someone who's actually making videos, making video presentations for the first time. What kind of videos should they do as intros? I'm talking about what should be the what do you think should be the ideal time length, the stuff that needs to go in as introduction, and how should they actually present. See, they can't actually do things like an expert or someone who's actually done it as a professional. There are a lot of people here who are not who do not have some kind of a background. They might try to do things themselves, right, make
Mhm.
their own videos and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
if they have to do some simple things at a low cost or probably no cost using some apps or something, what do they do?
Yeah, sure. So I think that people tend to overthink the video production
Uh-huh.
process. When it comes to social media, quality, you should only be concerned about the quality of your content, not necessarily the quality of your video.
Okay.
So, for example, how many times have you shared a viral video on Facebook or
Uh-huh.
another platform that was a video that was shot on someone's cell phone? So people get it in their heads that they have to have a nice camera, they have to have a tripod, a studio setup.
Hmm.
That's great, but those perks will actually only help you very marginally in the beginning. What you need to do is figure out a way to make video production sustainable for you. So, shooting on your cell phone, get comfortable shooting on your cell phone, find a window, get good light, and then that way it's very easy to stay consistent because maybe you are doing like 2 videos a week, that's your goal, and the second video of the week rolls up and you're thinking, oh man, I gotta go get the lights again, I gotta get the tripod, I gotta figure out how to turn on this fancy camera. It can actually deter people from
Uh-huh.
becoming consistent in creating consistent content. So I always tell people, just start with a cell phone. You can always beef up the production quality later,
Uh-huh.
but what you should focus on rather is your message. As long as everyone can see you and hear you, a cell phone's fine. No one on social media is judging cell phone footage, but what you're talking about in the video is what's important. So ask yourself, what kind of audience am I trying to attract? What is my messaging? What do I stand for? Those are important questions to ask yourself before you get started. But also remember, we all develop as we go. So I'm sure you'll come up with more content ideas once you just get the ball rolling.
Wonderful, wonderful. Shay, that was a wonderful tip. Now, you were talking about a course that you had planned, right? So why don't you
Yes.
tell us a few things about, what you have as a plan? Probably we could just give the group members a glimpse of, what could be expected.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually just got on LinkedIn for the first time last April. So I haven't even been
Hmm.
on the platform for a full year. I
Hmm.
already have over 30,000 followers. I
Hmm.
have achieved over 5 million views on my personal video content that I shot of
Wow.
myself.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah. So I decided, because so many people were messaging me, sending me their video links, asking me for, tips. What do you think of this? Should I do this? I just decided to create a video course where I can share that knowledge with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 27 video series course. It definitely will take a couple hours to complete, but I made sure to include all of my secrets, all of my tips, all the best info for how to use video on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also go into some other just general tips about the platform and how you can utilize LinkedIn for your brand and to grow your business. But the course is a very heavy focus on video in the course. So if anyone is, like you just explained, of that demographic that's just getting started, doesn't really know how to do it, they would absolutely benefit from purchasing this LinkedIn video course and gaining some better.
Yeah, sure. See, what I would also like to do is when you start off, probably you would have some materials to share or something like ad materials that would introduce the course. Feel
Yes,
free to post that on my group page so that, my members get to see that. So
I
that's
I will. Thank you for reminding me. I will do that.
right. So you have an audience here. Probably you could make the best use of, some source of advertisement for yourself. So that's one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yes, and Shay, one more thing here. Now you see, there are a lot of people who have been posting interesting content. I've been very closely following some good presenters, all these mentors, and all these terrific speakers and marketers, and they have these wonderful videos. And some videos get many hits, many clicks, while I've been also comparing content here, speaker to speaker, mentor to mentor, marketer with marketer, and things like that. So I've been watching yours too. Whenever you posted a video, I've observed that people are just replying, and it goes on for so
Yeah.
many days. So how is that? How did you achieve that kind of a response rate? I mean, there are so many other people who do that. I cannot see, they're getting answers perpetually, but you do. What is that you do differently?
Yeah, so he just said, buy the course and find out. So,
Yeah, be real, be real.
no, well, I cover a lot of those secrets in the course.
Okay.
But I will just say this tip here. It's calls to action. So I try to, at the end of my video, in the actual video, as much as possible, I turn it around to the audience and ask them if they've had a similar experience to whatever I happen to be talking about that day or that sort of thing. I make an effort in the text post, in the actual copy, to do the same thing. Hey, who has a story to share? Tell it below. So that's what I refer to as a healthy CTA. You'll hear me talk about that more in my course, but the mistake a lot of brands make and why they don't get as much reach is because their CTA is a hard sell CTA back to their business.
Yeah.
So even if the video they're talking about is a little more random, a little, more utility-based content, you'll still a lot of times on LinkedIn see these business professionals at the end of the video, at the end of the message, say like, and that's why you should buy from us. Call today to get a quote or, whatever.
Yes.
I think, that sort of language really turns people off from trusting you and just following you just to follow you for the value you provide. Because as soon as you become salesy, they see,
Right.
oh, this person just wants something from me. So
He's trying to sell you something. Yeah.
yeah, so I really encourage people to have CTAs, but like I said, healthy CTAs, a
Healthy.
CTA
Yeah.
that's related to your content that will engage users without them thinking, am I being sold something here?
Mm-hmm. Also, I have noticed that when you speak on a topic, and probably anything that you've spoken, you have actually been, sometimes, I don't know if this is the correct way to say it, you've been brutally truthful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's how I have seen it, and that's really good. It's a bold thing to do. So
Thank you.
I'm sure you had your share of critique too. How did you manage that? Has it been like too much, less, minimal? How
No,
how has it been?
you know what? I will actually say I was concerned about that myself in the
Hmm.
beginning,
Hmm.
because I knew some of some of the stances I have on things are very controversial and not
Hmm.
necessarily popular, but I gotta tell you that every time I've released a piece of content where I felt like I was being too brutal, too truthful,
Hmm.
oh man, am I gonna receive a backlash from this?
Hmm.
No, I mean, the backlash has always been so small in comparison to the slew of in-mail I get from people thanking me because they too have these
Yes.
same thoughts, but maybe they don't feel comfortable talking about it. Maybe they, so they thank me for being the voice. And that's been very validating and reassuring that I should continue to speak my truth and be honest about these things.
Right, right. I have myself commented on your videos, if you recall.
Yeah, I think so. I get a lot of comments, but I recognized your name right away when you
Yeah,
pointed
I know you wouldn't
out.
remember, but yes, I have been one of those people who have left you a positive comment, congratulating
Awesome.
you or thanking you for.
What was your fave video? Do you have one?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's you reminded me. In that video, entrepreneurs are weak. I really
The
love
poem.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
I really love that part where you had that beautiful poem. And also, I had a question for you. What's that bit about the chip in the shoulder?
We don't have time for the answer question. Well,
If it's, I'm sorry if that's something personal or.
no,
Uh,
it is, but I'm very open and willing to talk about it because I see it as an experience that many people go through,
uh-huh.
but many people feel alone. So that's
Okay.
why I like to talk about it because you're not alone. This is very common, and I started to notice that all of my entrepreneurial friends, all of these different young business owners I've met, they all kind of had a chip on their shoulder. We all kind of had this thing in common where we were a little bitter, a little jaded from our past, and I started to reflect on that. So, my own personal journey, I am an artist in my core. I mean, that's ever since I was a little girl, I've been very creative. I used to, put on plays and shows. I would write lyrics, songs. I would, yeah, all that stuff. So I think that when you're an artist, you're also uh, commonly artists are more sensitive people.
Hmm.
So I think growing up, I was a very sensitive child, and I got laughed at a lot from mainly from my own family. Actually, I have three older siblings,
Hmm.
and it was really hard on me. I really wanted to be a singer, and they just kind of, shit on my dreams and said, like, you'll never be a singer and you can't do it. So that's just one example of an area where I think like the resentment kind of built, and I gained this very like, well, I'll show them attitude and I'll prove it to you. And so even though I didn't necessarily make it in music, I do think that motivation drove me to be successful and actually drove me to become an entrepreneur and a business owner. I never thought I'd end up in the world of social media marketing, but here I am. And I gotta say, I think being told no and being told you can't do it so many times instills that fight in me to persevere and see through it.
Good. You still miss music? You still want to do something?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the poetry, the poem, entrepreneurs are weak. That's just another outlet for me. It's kind of like a step back into music because I recently started writing poetry again. I haven't actually gotten back into like singing and recording anything yet, but I do think in the next coming years I'm going to be presented with many opportunities to do that again, which is really exciting because when I used to do it, while I loved it, I had no audience back then, when I
Oh,
was classic starving artist and everything. So I do miss it, but I'm very, very satisfied with my creative outlet currently, which is LinkedIn video.
thank you. Thank you. Good answer. Even though I would love to continue the conversation for probably maybe another 15 or 20 minutes. We have
Right. We could
actually
talk all night, Syed. Yeah.
we are reaching the end of the time slot. I just want to have a quick question. Would it be possible for you to probably jump in another day, maybe like a month or two down the line, whenever there's an opportunity, and share your ideas here? Probably at the time when you start your course, that would be ideal, I think.
Absolutely. I would love to be back. And as you know, like the platform's always evolving and changing. So at
Yeah.
that point in time, I might even have some new tips. So that would be great.
Sure. And how should people reach you if they have to? Of course, they're going to comment when I'm going to post this video. So
Yeah.
besides that, how should they reach you? Any email address or
Yeah.
anything
I
you'd
mean,
like to?
well, you can follow me on all the social media channels if you want. Maybe you could
Okay.
just link to my LinkedIn. But
Sure.
if you're just trying to get in contact with me to have a conversation or you have
Mm-hmm.
an inquiry, the best email right now is just my full name at gmail.com. It's my personal email.
Would you be able to comment with your email after I've posted this
Sure.
video? That would be
Yes.
helpful, right?
I can absolutely do
That's for
that.
the
Yeah.
benefit of the people. So of course.
Yeah.
So to wind up, what are those few things that you would like to share? Tips for
Oh, of
today.
anything. Okay. I would say that the number one thing for getting started is to build a little bit of confidence. I think I see this pattern in people where they start on the video train and they get really discouraged because they shoot, 3 takes and they're just not feeling confident in their performance. They're not ready yet. It has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I will just say that everyone makes mistakes, especially starting out. So if you're filming the same video 5 or 6 times trying to get that perfect take, you're not flawed. Like you're just normal. That's normal. We think about it. We only see the final posted videos,
Right.
but every single creator on the platform is doing rough copies, drafts, is making, bloopers, and they have errors. And it's like, I think people just are their own worst enemy. They tend to be very hard on themselves. You can ask a friend, you can ask someone you trust, like, hey, I just shot this video. What do you think? Should I release it? I find that doing that oftentimes helps people because we're our own worst critic. So if you show someone else you trust, hey, what do you think of this video? Chances are they'll boost your confidence a little and they'll say like, oh no, that's great. Go get started. And then as with anything, just practice makes perfect. So once you get the ball rolling a little bit, you'll surprise yourself one day when you're like, wow, I'm all of a sudden coming up with great content ideas. I'm just flowing, and all of a sudden I'm able to shoot my videos in 2 takes instead of 4, that sort of thing. So it was the same process for me, even with my entertainment background. I mean, I was pretty rusty in the beginning. I had to practice a lot to really get confident and hone that craft. So
Awesome, Shay. I really enjoyed the conversation with you.
yeah, likewise.
I just hope I had more time to spend with you today. I had
I'll
more
be back.
questions.
Okay.
Sure, we will catch up. We will catch up soon. So thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And also we will be in constant touch. I mean, I'm in touch with you on LinkedIn, also on Facebook. So whenever there's a need, we will exchange information or messages. Thank you so much again for being with us. So see you soon. So this is not the last time. You will be here as a guest probably few more times this year. So thank you very much again, Shay.
Thank you, Syed, and look forward to speaking soon.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.